All right, so let's take a look at the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. This has been out for several years now, and like I said, this is a beautiful product for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. You really probably should use this. So the first thing we've done is we have broken it up into a player's guide and also a Dungeon Master's Guide. Basically, player's guide is for what you want your players to see, and the DM's guide is for your eyes only. But then again, in the library, you can always go ahead and give your players permission. So you get a nice reference manual with the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. You can hold down Control. You can resize any of these windows, everybody. Hold down Control and just drag it and open it up as large or small as you want. Great thing. Instead of using a little handle in the lower right-hand corner. And I didn't know, until a couple of years ago, I didn't even know about the control function, because I was always I was struggling with that drag handle down there in the bottom right, Rob. So
yeah, there's always... With Fantasy Grounds, I learn some little tip or trick like that almost every day.
Yeah.
And if there's a really good one, then I use it for the Friday tip.
It's like, I thought I knew a lot about Fantasy Grounds when I first came on back in December. But I'll tell you what, I have learned so much more about the program since I've became an employee, because it's now my job, So
yeah.
The Player's Reference Guide, it has everything that you're going to need as a player. All right. So it has all of your credits, and you can just click through. As you can see on the bottom, there is a navigation button to the right or left. So it's just like the reference manual is like a PDF, Rob. It is literally like reading it page for page. It may not be in the same exact order of what the PDF would be, or the actual physical book itself, but it's pretty darn close. And it has every bit of information. It has all the images. You can pop all of these windows out, share them with your players. It has all of the races and the variances for the dwarves or the elves or the halflings or whatever it has in the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. And you can, like I said, you can pop these images out, share them with your players, and you can just use the navigation button down here and just scroll through this stuff. And there's also a search box too. So if there's something,
it's really nice to be able to go through page by page. It's really super awesome to be able to do that. It is like you said, it's like reading the book, really.
Yeah, and you don't need to go over to your shelf and get the actual book off, because you can just search for whatever you want to find, or you can just, like I said, just read it like a book, or use the navigation on the left-hand side to go to each of the chapters. And like I said, this is players. So it doesn't have everything the DM would have, like the templates and stuff like that. It wouldn't have that. But it does have all of the races, all the variants for the races, and all of the different archetypes that are here. Like for the barbarian, it has the all of the primal paths and stuff. So here's the battle rager, the path of the totem warrior, and you can go to the clerics. Here's everything for the clerics, all the information. Here's the Divine Domains, which is Arcana. And you can just go to each one of these classes. And then it has the new backgrounds as well that Chapter 5 has. And there you go. You just click on that and check everything out. Pop the image out, like I said, etc.
Boom.
So it's like, yeah, and here's City Watch. Here's your Clan Crafter, your Cloistered Scholar, your Courtier, the Knight of the Order, and it has everything. It has everything like the Player's Handbook has. And everything is also put into your sidebar buttons on the right-hand side. So if you want to play that, if you want to play that Purple Dragon Knight or that, the Knight of the Order, it will be in your background's sidebar button. And it'll say that's from the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. So there's the Harper agent. And then you would just drag and drop that onto your character sheet. So it gives you the same drag and drop capability that the Player's Handbook has. So that's the Player's Reference, guys. It has everything that you need for your players. So now let's take a look at the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. And I want to also show you a couple of the other... Let's make a character first. So I'm going to make just a level 1 character, because I want to show you what I'm talking about, with the different... as you use the drag and drop capability when you're leveling your class, it will pull all of the sources in and give you a multitude of choices for your archetypes. So let's name this guy Slappy McCringle.
Slappy McCringle.
Slappy McCringle with a K. So we'll name him
Slappy McCringle.
That's a great thing about D&D, man. So let's make him an Aarakocra. You can see, you just drag and drop it over in chat. It tells you everything that's been added to your sheet. Let's take one of those nice new backgrounds. Well, here's the courtier. As we can see in the background sidebar, the courtier comes from the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. It tells you all of the sources. So we'll drag that and put that there. And then for the class, what kind of class should we do? Fighter? Let's do something with level 3 drag and drop, so we can actually level it up a couple times and show the ease of leveling up a character.
Yeah, so fighter.
Yeah, so we'll do the fighter, and we'll do the fighter out of the... I would say let's do the fighter out of the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, so we can get the Purple Dragon Knight as an option.
Nice.
So here's the fighter from the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. We will drop it on the class, and of course you choose your 2 skills. We'll just choose acrobatics and animal handling. That's a beautiful thing about automation. Now we've got our level 1 fighter. Of course, we'll have to add our equipment and stuff, but we're not going to do this for this video. So all we have to do is drag and drop fighter again. Voila, look at that, our hit points adjust for fighter 2. Now when I drop fighter level 3 on here, this is when the fighter gets the archetype that he gets to choose from. And when you drag and drop this onto your character sheet, you're going to notice that now, instead of just the battle master and the champion and the Eldritch Knight, you're going to notice that, wow, look at this. We've got the Purple Dragon Knight, we've got the Brute, we've got the Arcane Archer, which is that's from Volo's Guide to Everything. You got the Cavalier, the Samurai, the Champion. So this has every single possible archetype for D&D 5e. You no longer have to just open up the player's handbook to get your archetype. This is like I said, this is a massive improvement for the D&D 5e rule set, because it saves you time as a player, and you can just basically pull up the information and you can read about the Purple Dragon Knight. So all you got to do is just on the right hand side in that select specialization, just click on it, and just hold down control and open this up, and you can read all about the Purple Dragon Knight. Here's all of your features: Rallying Cry, Royal Envoy, Inspiring Surge, and Bulwark. So yeah, it's beautiful. Everything is at your fingertips, and it pulls from every single source that you have activated in your data module activation in your library. So now this has all the player's handbook stuff, it has all Volo stuff, it has Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, and everything else. And it's beautiful. And then you just select
Amazing.
Dragon Purple Knight, and voila, in your chat it says everything is added. Boom. Exactly. One more time for the road on boom.
Boom.
There you go. Boom. So that was a great, like I said, that's a great improvement for the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide and Fantasy Grounds in general. So let's take a look at everything else that we have in the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, which I'm going to activate it. I've got the players. So to activate it, you just go into your modules, everybody. And I've got a lot of modules, so it takes a little bit to open it up. So I just want to go down to here to my search and type in sword. So whenever I have Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, that's my hillbilly accent again, my Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, you just click the load button, and then the book will open up. You can see that it's for your eyes only because it has the red X, and now I can access it. Here it is, Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, and there's a bunch of other nice stuff in here. Here's all of the images. You can open these up. You can share them. There's maps of pretty much everything that you need maps for. Baldur's Gate, I believe there's one for Neverwinter, I believe there's one for Waterdeep, and all of the other surrounding areas, and a lot of other places like runes and dungeons that have encounters. There's a lot of maps in here, and you can share those all to the player. Here's all of the
That's
NPCs.
my alarm going off, sorry.
That's okay. These are basically named. These are the named individuals that are, the major players that are in the Sword Coast. Some of the major players, and these are their NPC sheets. Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide didn't have a whole array of monsters. That's not what the Adventurer's Guide was about. It was about basically telling the story of the Sword Coast and having all of the lore at your fingertips. Now, there's also a reference manual which has everything that the player's guide that we broke up for something separate for your players. It has everything. So this has the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. Like I said, it is just like reading a book, and you can use the navigation down there below. You can control, just expand it. It talks about all the different brief histories. There's all kinds of things about Days of Thunder. It'll go into the Sundering and all that stuff. Here's the Chapter 2. This is the Sword Coast, actually, right here. This has everything like the Atlas and everything else. It talks about the Underdark, independent realms. We'll pull up the map really quick, and I'll use the sidebar button for this. So we can use the group here to drop down, and we'll look for Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide and see here's stuff from players and campaign. We want the campaign, and we want the Sword Coast map. So let's just type in sword, and you can access this from, guys, you can also access this from the reference manual as well. But I want to use all of the different features that we have in Fantasy Grounds.
This map is completely awesome. This is the best map.
You know what I wish there was? I wish there was a map like this. Like there was I believe it was either Gale Force 9 or WizKids put out an actual map of Chult for the Tomb of Annihilation, and you can unroll it, put it in a frame, and put it on your wall. I wish that this Sword Coast map was also done up too on a very nice piece of paper.
I know people. I've heard people have printed out they bought like Mike Schlee's high-res image and then went to Kinko's and made a map of it. I don't know. I haven't heard the reports of how anybody has made out with that. Yeah. But that is a really cool map. And if you see in Fantasy Grounds, look how many pins there are. Oh, yeah. For you to see. Oh, it's crazy.
And I'm zoomed out all the way, Rob. I mean, this map is huge. And this is a Michael Schlee map. And the detail on this map is so nice because of the massive size of the image. And anything that you want to look at, you can look at. So you can scroll and you can find Waterdeep here on the course. You can zoom in, and it doesn't really pixelate until you get right up on it because of the resolution of the map. But you'll notice all of these pins. There's probably 100 pins. Well, these are all the locations that are talked about in the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. So if you want to know anything about Waterdeep, honestly, take advantage of that macro bar that has F1 through F12 function key capability down there. Take this little red dragon of the Sword Coast map, and if you're playing D&D in the Forgotten Realms, you need to really take advantage of this and take this map and drop it down there on your macro bar, because next time you need that map, you don't have to go into your images and map sidebar button. You don't need to go into the reference manual. Just click on that macro bar down there at the bottom, and voila, your Sword Coast map will pop up. But just remember, this map is going to take a couple seconds to open up because of the sheer size of this map. And this is one of the larger maps that has actually been put in Fantasy Grounds. And usually, maps aren't this size, but this is, this has to be the special occasion because of the detail of this map. So now, take for instance, you are wanting to check out Waterdeep. Just scroll into Waterdeep, which is up here, past Daggerford, which is part of the Ghost of Dragonspear Castle, and click on this red pin. You don't even have to open anything up. Here it has the map for you. Hold down Control, and you can just drag and make that bigger, the box. And look at that. All of the information from the book is there. All of the images, you can pop them out, share it. This is the map of all of the different wards that the City of Splendor is broken up to. There's a numerous amount of wards, and then there's information about all the different wards right here. So that's Waterdeep, and you can click on any. Here's Succumber, a small little mining town, and it has everything about the High Moor, its surrounding areas. It has everything Misty Forest. Then you can refer over here to the Misty Forest. It will show you exactly on the map where it's at. Here is all of the lore, and it just it has everything at your fingertip, man. That's what I like about it. So if if your players happen to stray away from your adventure, which players like to do, say they've left Daggerford and they're traveling down the Delambir River and their boat of folding, they come upon Succumber, then you can go ahead and just open up, read this a little bit, and you can start doing impromptu things with your group that way. So yeah, all of the legwork has been done for you guys. This is beautiful. So let's take a look at the rest of the manual really quick. The different chapters. We've already gone ahead and taken a look at. Actually, I think we've pretty much taken a look at just about everything, Rob. Chapter 2 has the Sword Coast and all of the maps and stuff. Chapter 1 has a lot of the history of the Forgotten Realms, like I had mentioned, in the Sword Coast. Races of the Realms, we've already taken a look at that. That's also in the player's version. Here are the classes. Don't forget, all of the classes are drag and drop, and these are all, this is a huge thing about, the 5th edition rule set in Fantasy Grounds, how now it incorporated every single module and gave you all kinds of choices as you were able to choose your archetype. There's the backgrounds. We've already talked about the backgrounds, and then here's class options. So if you want to use all of this content in different D&D settings from the past, like Dragonlance or Baker's Eberron, or one of my favorites, Greyhawk, or Homebrew Worlds, it has everything with the classes, and it's all at your fingertips. So that is the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. And the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, all of this content is also available in the sidebar buttons on the right-hand side. And don't forget, you can pick up the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide in the Fantasy Grounds store or on Steam for $29.99. So take advantage of that. This is a must-have for a DM, especially if you want the new archetypes, the new races and the variants of the races, and also all of the content for the Sword Coast.